Have you ever wondered about the untold chapters of history concealed in the corridors of forgotten convents? From the early days of their religious callings to the present, Black Catholic nuns have been instrumental in shaping communities, challenging norms, and contributing to the broader struggles for justice and equality. But what secrets lie behind the veils of silence worn by Black Catholic nuns? How did these remarkable women navigate the dualities of faith and societal expectations? And what untold stories lie hidden within the hallowed halls of their sacred sisterhood? Well, let's find out. In the intricate tapestry of American history, the stories of African-descended women who joined predominantly white Catholic convents were intentionally kept in the shadows by historians associated with these religious congregations. Much like the segregation prevalent in various aspects of American society during the 20th century, convents and Catholic organizations were not exempt from racial divisions. But the stories of Black Catholic nuns stand out as tales of courage, resilience, and a commitment to answering a divine call despite the challenges posed by racism. Dr. Shannon D. Williams, a historian from Villanova University, reveals an even older history of Black nuns in predominantly white Catholic settings, a history that has been overlooked or deliberately concealed by these religious institutions in her book, Subversive Habits: The Untold Story of Black Catholic Nuns in the United States. According to Dr. Williams, these generations of Black Catholic women confronted racism to fulfill their religious calling. They faced obstacles within both the church and society, but remained steadfast in their pursuit of answering God's call in their lives. Williams emphasizes that understanding the history of Black Catholic nuns is essential to grasping the broader struggle for racial equality within the United States. Williams takes us back to the roots of African American Catholicism, tracing it to the free Black Catholic community of Spanish Florida, Haitian immigration, and the involvement of American Catholic institutions in slaveholding. Despite facing significant barriers, many Black women over the centuries felt a divine calling to embrace celibacy within the Catholic faith. Before the Civil War, some free Black women founded Catholic orders for themselves, while others joined predominantly white orders, an option generally accessible only to those with lighter skin. Remarkably, a few of these women even founded orders perceived as white. These women had to sever ties with their families to hide their racial identity. Teresa Maxis and Anne Constance Charlotte Martha Sheaf, for example, played key roles in establishing the Immaculate Heart of Mary, or IHM, a prominent educational order for nuns in Michigan and Pennsylvania in 1845. However, after the Civil War, the color line within female Catholic orders became more rigid in some aspects. Williams highlights the complex relationship with race within the Sisters of Loretto at the foot of the cross in Kentucky. Despite enslaving Black laborers, this order accepted at least 14 African-descended women as lay sisters. The daughter of one such woman, Claire Morgan, became a member of the order in 1812. Surprisingly, the order omitted this crucial information from congregational histories published in the 19th and 20th centuries. There's also speculation that the Loretto foundress, Mary Rhodes, may have been the daughter of a formerly enslaved Black woman, although it remains unclear whether Rhodes herself was aware of this. In the post-Civil War era, the color line within female Catholic orders hardened further. Only 4 Black women are known to have entered white orders between 1865 and 1880, and by 1900, most of these orders had explicit policies against admitting Black women. These policies, which sought to maintain influence and power within the white church, persisted until the Civil Rights era. During the 19th century, numerous U.S.-born women of African descent entered white congregations. The actual number remains uncertain, as some women may have passed as white and never been discovered. In her book and during the event, Williams reveals that many Black women were historically excluded from white religious communities or deliberately erased from official records. The struggles faced by the Sisters of the Holy Family, a Black Catholic community founded in New Orleans in 1842, serve as a poignant example. These women encountered profound resistance, being prohibited from wearing veils in public for several decades. Despite these challenges, they fought ardently to maintain their religious habits, demonstrating deep roots in American Catholicism. However, among those documented by Williams and other scholars are many whose orders were fully aware of their heritage and later took great pains to suppress it. For example, IHM restricted access to its archives to prevent the exposure of the true identities of Maxis and Chayaf. In the 1930s, the order's leaders thwarted an effort to recognize Maxis as a saint. exemplifying a deliberate effort to silence and bury this aspect of history. In the words of Mother Domitilla Donahue of the IHM in 1928, "We are convinced that silence is the fairest, wisest, and most agreeable way of committing oblivion to this subject." This statement encapsulates the deliberate efforts made by certain religious orders to keep the stories of these women hidden, a practice that persisted for decades. Speaking of the future of Black religious sisters, Dr. Williams acknowledges a decline in their numbers in the United States, paralleling trends among their white counterparts. However, she highlights a crucial nuance. When considering African sisters, the overall number of Black sisters in the United States has increased. This demographic shift suggests that the future of Black women in religious life, both in the United States and globally, may be influenced by the Church's growth in Africa. Over time, some religious orders were established exclusively for Black Catholic women, starting with the Oblate Sisters of Providence in Baltimore, Maryland, founded in 1828 by Mother Mary Lang, a notable example of a successful Catholic community of Black religious. This order was groundbreaking, creating the first Catholic school open to Black girls and becoming the first women's religious order to oppose slavery, even accepting formerly enslaved women as sisters. This accomplishment underlines the groundbreaking efforts of Black Catholic nuns to challenge societal norms and foster inclusivity within their communities. Despite providing a safe space for women to practice their faith, these orders encountered significant resistance both inside and outside the Church. Louisiana's Sisters of the Holy Family, the second religious order for Black women, faced restrictions like not being allowed to wear veils in public for several decades. Black sisters also struggled to access education, with few Catholic institutions permitting them to attend. Desegregation efforts within Catholic religious orders didn't begin until World War II. Even as doors slowly opened for Black women, they faced discrimination from within their own communities. In some orders, racial segregation persisted, with Black sisters unable to eat in the same room as their white counterparts or set foot in the mother house. Some orders even required separate vow ceremonies for Black sisters. Williams suggests that the struggles and sacrifices of these Black religious sisters paved the way for the civil rights movement in the 1960s. Many of those who integrated white orders post-World War II were already involved in desegregating Catholic high schools by 1945, making them seasoned veterans in the fight for Black freedom. Their stories, however, have often been overlooked by historians. The history of Black Catholic sisters in the United States challenges the Church's narrative. It is a dangerous memory that confronts the unacknowledged and unreconciled history of slavery, segregation, and exclusion within the Church. The struggles faced by Black sisters have often been erased or misrepresented in the history of female religious life. In the 15th century, the Roman Catholic Church, despite being the largest corporate slaveholder in the Americas, created policies barring African-descended and indigenous people from religious life. Yet, in the early 19th century, free African-descended women and girls in the U.S. South won approval to establish the world's first Roman Catholic sisterhoods for Black people, challenging the Church to recognize the humanity of Black individuals. In conclusion, the stories of Black Catholic nuns in the United States weave a narrative of perseverance, faith, and resilience. Dr. Shannon D. Williams' work brings to light the untold history of these women, emphasizing their vital role in the Church and their enduring contributions to the fight for racial equality. The challenges they faced, both within the Church and society at large, serve as a testament to their unwavering commitment to their faith and community. Now, what are your thoughts on the struggles faced by Black Catholic sisters throughout history? Were you aware of the challenges they encountered within the Church and society? Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you found this video informative, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more engaging content.